Well,
Hi
good
everyone.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. My name is Lisa Reichert. I'm the Career and Professional Development Lead for People and Organization Development. And I'm so excited that you're part of this new series, the Now Encore series, which is an expansion of our Now conference, in that we wanted to continue to offer some more wonderful topics that we couldn't fit into our day-long Now conference. So we're thrilled that you are all here, and I am so excited to welcome our presenter, Diana Asadera. Diana is the program manager within diversity, equity, and inclusion in the arts and humanities within the College of Letters and Sciences. And Diana is a first-generation college student from the Fresno Central Valley, and she is passionate about serving diverse populations and advocating for underrepresented and underserved communities in education. Diana was a Search Inside Yourself Engage participant, and she's been a Yoga Alliance teacher since 2014. She has led numerous mindfulness practice workshops at Berkeley, at the Haas School of Business, for business teams, for students, and she was one of our activity break leaders in our most recent Now conference and did a creative visualization exercise. Diana loves to promote wellness and cultivate connections and encourage conscious leadership. And with that, I just want to thank Diana and welcome you, Diana, and I will let you take it from here.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for that wonderful introduction. And I just wanted to welcome you all. Thank you all for being here. Today's topic, we're going to go over some intentional and creative envisioning for conscious and mindful leadership. And a couple of objectives that I have in store for us today are more kind of like the experiential practices. So kind of what is visualization and how can we use that within our daily lives. We're going to explore intentionality and leadership. And it kind of gives us more space into our own self-awareness and self-exploration. And maybe we'll kind of unpack a little bit more of what conscious leadership may mean to you, what it could mean to the community, and as a collective, and how it could have a positive impact in the world. So we'll start off with brief introductions today, and here are a couple of the prompts. Just your name, location if you feel comfortable sharing that, the department you're in, and what kind of brought you here, and maybe the favorite mantra or affirmation that you may have. So I'll go ahead and start. I'm Diana Asadera, and I'm currently in Fresno, California, and I work with the Arts and Humanities Department and Diversity Office. And I'm here because I really feel passionate about sharing different tools and resources that we can use to kind of push forward our passions and embody more of our leadership qualities that we all have within ourselves. And my favorite mantra kind of shifts at the time, depending on what is needed. And the one that I have been using a lot right now is I am peace. So I'll go ahead and popcorn to Ria.
Hi everyone, my name is Ria Briggs. I'm currently in Pinole, California. I am an administrative officer for a research lab in the College of Engineering, and I'm here to improve my leadership skills. And my favorite mantra that I can think of right now is let go, let God, I guess. Yeah.
I think next on my screen is Jolie. Not hearing Jolie. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to Helena.
Hi. Oops. Hi. I'm with the Center for Studies in Higher Education, which is part of the public policy school. What brought me here is basically just always looking at trying to better myself in terms of my leadership role. And I like the focus on consciousness here, just being aware of what I'm doing. And favorite mantra, I think it's just breathe, just stay still, and no matter what's going on outside. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. Selena?
Hi everyone, my name is Selena and I am in Antioch, California right now. I work with the Lawrence Hall of Science as a research coordinator, and I'm definitely in my earlier stages of my career, so I thought that coming to this workshop and learning more about leadership and especially leading with intention would be really valuable for me now and in the future. And I think my favorite mantra is just compassion, just act with compassion.
Beautiful, thank you. Jolie, would like to come back around and check. Okay, maybe we'll come back around to her. So what is visualization? So visualization is practicing with mental imagery and kind of imagining. I think kind of we're more in tune with this when we're younger kids, and we can definitely bring that into our current lives and where we are now. Create and using a creative mindset, we kind of begin to attune a little bit more to creating the feeling that we want to have and bring more of into our lives. And we also, by using visualization, we're able to connect more to our bodies. And within that, we can create a sort of balance between attracting to us the goals, the dreams, the aspirations that we have for ourselves, and and what we may want to give out to the world through our own leadership, and also kind of beginning to formulate what are some of the action steps that we can take for that longer vision of where we would like to be. And visualization is a lot of creativity. So it's creating that balance. Sometimes we're especially in the society that we're living, we're pressured to kind of like produce and get things done right away, and allowing some time for creativity kind of begins to balance and create space to kind of arrive at the same place, but at the same time nurturing um, a different side of ourselves and being more compassionate with ourselves through the practice along our journey. So why visualization? So just like meditation, it's kind of a strand of mindfulness as well. And visualization can kind of be used to create relaxation within oneself and to increase your self-confidence and thinking about the qualities that you want to bring more of. We'll do that in our practice shortly. And it also kind of helps to bring our mind back into balance, especially with so much going on in our external realities. And sometimes we internalize everything that's going on outside of us. But through this visualization, we can come back to our breath, kind of slow ourselves down, and find that balance within ourselves. So it also creates a lot of space and clarity within you. So it's also meaning like clarity within defining what you want in reference to your dreams, your goals, and aspirations as a leader, and the feelings that you want to feel. So the positive thing about visualization is that it helps to trigger like hormones and the synapses in our minds that make it easier for us to see us achieving those goals that we set out for ourselves. And I think just the biggest thing, it also helps to reduce the stress that we may be feeling and mentally prepare yourself with your thoughts. So, who uses visualization? Um, these are some of the examples that I was able to find. A lot of different people use it. So, like Michael Phelps, Olympic gold medalist, off to the side, it uses this to before he even begins. He visualizes what it feels like to be in the water, the speed, the temperature, all of these things. You're beginning to feel what it's like going through the motion of where you want to be. And then Oprah Winfrey is also another example, and I love her quote where she says, "You create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe." So she's another example who's really focused on like using meditation and mindfulness and visualization practices to like achieve all of the some of the things that she has in her life. Jim Carrey is also another example, and Idris Elba. And aside from, these people that we see out on TV or, in the public scene, aside from speakers, actors, athletes, and musicians, you and I can also use these visualization practices to move us forward in our lives and as leaders. So we'll go ahead and start with our first visualization practice. And so let's everybody find a comfortable seated position. And you can begin to close your eyes, taking focus of your breath, noticing its calming and relaxing rhythm. Now visualize a place where you feel happy, content, and calm. This might be somewhere you visited or an imagined scene of somewhere you'd like to go. Maybe you're sitting next to a big tree or next to a flowing river. And here you begin to engage your five senses to begin to add as much detail to the place that you're visiting. What do you hear? Maybe some birds, maybe the leaves rustling. Can you smell relaxing fragrances? Maybe some flowers or something's cooking. Are you warm? Does it feel cool? Can you feel the air on your skin? Is the sky bright or is it full of stars? Taking a deep inhale in and a deep exhale out. Imagine yourself moving forward, feeling calmer, more peaceful as you enter this vision more deeply. Continue breathing slowly as you look around the scene that you have created, fully experiencing it with all of your senses. With each inhale, Imagine peace and harmony entering your body. Visualize with each exhale, release of all tension and distress that your body may be holding. Let's take a minute to relish in this space we have created for ourselves. When you feel ready, you can begin to bring your awareness back into the space and begin to leave the vision that you have created, knowing that you can return at any time to the space that you have created. So, would anyone like to share kind of the experience that they may have had? You can go ahead and unmute yourself, or what may have come up for you.
Um, Hi, thank you for that. I needed that. It just helped me to breathe and be more mindful of the now, and also to let go of all the things I needed to do after this workshop. Um, so it was just nice to breathe and be present. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's part of it too. So part of our practice is beginning to slow our minds down. Like even with creating this guided imagery, we're able to set the tone for ourselves, and connect closer to where we are and not think so far ahead. Anyone else? Okay.
Diana, I'll share.
Okay.
Lisa, and I just had fun envisioning this new space that I'm creating in a second bedroom and creating a new office guest space. And even though it's work, I envision myself, I envision how I'm refurnishing it and the windows and what I see out there and how it's such a creative, energizing, calming space that helps me do my best work.
Beautiful. I love that. Like once you continue to do this practice, you begin to put in all of those details, and it gets a texture, and it becomes more alive into your reality. So that's beautiful, Lisa. So some visualization benefits are that it could help build your courage. So through visualization, you're also not only creating the imagery, but also drawing in and attracting the types of qualities that maybe you may need more of into your being. So, courage and what that represents to you. So, visualization is also a positivity in creation, meaning that you see yourself in this place, and it's this positive. You take yourself out from where you're currently at and envision yourself of all of the potential and possibilities that you are able to create. And I love the fact that it really increases your creativity and lets you kind of have fun with what you are creating and the possibilities that are there. And also, when we begin talking about that, it also creates a sense of purpose. So when you're using visualization for what leadership may mean to you, or maybe a project that you've been holding off on for some time, you find yourself drawn again to the purpose. This is one of my favorite quotes from Sean Corn, and kind of describes like what conscious leadership means to me. So first and foremost, having the willingness to look within ourselves and connect with who we are, the choices we make, the words we speak, the environment we were raised, the ancestry we're part of, and all the ways the limited beliefs and traditions of our own culture have impacted the way we experience ourselves and the way we experience the world and the way the world experiences us. So we all have this beautiful journey that we're on, and we interweave on our paths, and we all come from these different places with different stories, right, of who we are, and at the same time, those are our strengths. We when we begin to embrace, our stories and who we are, and begin to share that with the world, um, it also empowers us and empowers others to also speak up, and kind of begin to also use and embody these types of practices and views. So we have our dive into intentionality. So I think for me, the biggest part of visualization and conscious leadership is our intentionality, and knowing that we're already connected to the answers that we seek if we take the time to create the space within ourselves to really attune to what our hearts and what our minds um, are telling us, aside from like everything else that's ruminating around us. Um, and so that's intentionality for me. And creative envisioning is part of like connecting more to our passion and like how we're going to get to that space. So conscious leadership and mindful leadership is kind of beginning to notice what is going on around us and what is actually needed for the times that we're in. And the times that we are in have been very tumultuous this year of 2020, but at the same time, it allows for us to create space with everything else that's going on within us, and take that deep sacred pause to realign ourselves with where we're wanting to go. Where is our passion leading us? What is our calling? And how can we bring these practices that we're learning to further us along the way? And so it begins with setting an intention of how like of how we're going to get there, what is actually needed. And aside from setting the intention or the goal or aspiration that we have, is also taking um, communities that we're part of and groups of people that we're with. So, does anyone else, or would anyone else like to share a little bit more of maybe what conscious and mindful leadership may mean to them, and maybe intentionality?
And we could invite everyone, you can unmute yourselves if there's something you'd like to share, or please feel free to put it in the chat.
I was just going to say, I always like the idea of setting intentions. It's something I always mean to do, but I don't do enough. But I think it's a really good practice, setting out on anything. For an example, where that's worked for me. know it's important.
Elena, you were
But
cutting a little bit in and out.
oh, you are? Am I?
Trying to.
I'll try to think of an example of intentionality, but I just saying it's important. I know, and I try to do it as much as I can. It's just a good practice.
So, okay, I can probably give an example, right? So, how can we use this in our daily life, right, and bring in the intentionality? So maybe it's part of like the morning ritual that you have in the morning. When you get up in the morning, you give in your gratitude for the sun that is shining through your window, and the breath that you have going through your body, right, and kind of grounding yourself to begin the day anew with what is to come. And then the setting the intention part becomes the type of quality that you want to bring in into your day. So knowing that a lot of things can shift and bring you out of balance, maybe a simple intention is um, I am centered and I am aligned, and coming back to repeating that to yourself when you feel yourself getting ahead of yourself or being thrown off balance. Um, so, does anybody else have any other ideas for conscious leadership or mindful leadership that they would like to share?
Yeah, I feel like I am constantly struggling with the idea of having good intentions and good actions because I don't think that the two are the same. But I think that if you start off by setting like good and pure intentions, then that leads into the leadership, which is the action portion of it. So even if your leadership doesn't lead to great results, if you are grounded in those original good intentions, then you can respond accordingly and shift your actions or apologies or whatever you need to do in order to still live within that and the positive intention that you set.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very true. And that it's important that we always come back to that initial intention that we had set for ourselves, right? The feeling of what we wanted. And as human beings, we always want to control the outcome of certain situations and how things happen and what they'll turn out and what they'll look like. And that's part of our envisioning. But at the same time, the creating that space to allow for for flexibility as the things come up, and as you create that space and connecting to your breath, um, you find ways to easily respond to situations as they come up, that may be difficult or may have you reassessing, you know, maybe this didn't work out, so how can I approach it differently? And each experience, in my belief, is just an opportunity for better development of ourselves and for growth within our being. Um, yeah, so thank you, Selena, for sharing. I think we'll go in now into a longer visualization practice. And yeah, we'll try it out. So everybody find a comfortable seated position. Go ahead and take a deep audible exhale out through the mouth. Inhaling and bringing our shoulders up towards our ears and down, allowing space between our shoulders and neck, maybe our upper back areas that we've been holding a lot of tension in. One more time, bringing in our shoulders up towards our ears and down, allowing our body to relax. Taking in a couple of deep breaths with the intention to arrive fully. Maybe taking another deep sigh and allowing sound to also be a way to release what may be feeling stagnant. In each breath, connecting with your body, and each exhale, creating more clarity in your being. Bringing peace into your being, into your community and space. We can bring our hands to our bellies, or you can choose to put one hand on your belly and one on your heart. As you take a deep inhale in, go ahead and expand your belly out, creating space. As you take a deep exhale out, bring your belly into your core. Try this out 2 more times at your own pace. There may be an extenuating list of situations, events, emotions, or feelings happening in our external realities. But as we breathe deep into this moment, may we recognize that we carry wisdom, compassion, and confidence within us, all to navigate these times and these situations. With each breath, I am here. I am empowered. I invite you to bring into the space and into your being compassion and harmony with each breath. I invite you to call in a certain quality you would like to bring more of into your life and into your being as a conscious and mindful leader. Maybe it's a quality of equanimity, of creativity, of courage, of joy, or calm. How does that feel like for you? Feel, how can you bring this quality to your space with each breath? Begin to notice if the quality has a texture, a color, maybe some shapes. If nothing's coming up, that is also okay. You can choose the nature of the quality. Maybe the quality you chose to bring in was calm. So you imagine a green shimmering light that feels healing harmonious, and calming. Now let us bring our hands to heart center. And we begin to connect a little deeper to our hearts. This is the center for your alignment. Let's bring the quality that you have chosen to the center of your being, to your heart. We can begin to root this quality to emerge from our hearts. So imagining a large bubble-like sphere to encompass all of your being. And begin to fill the space with this quality that you have called in, with the color or the shapes or the textures that you had given your quality. As you're filling the space of this bubble-like sphere around you, this is your sanctuary. This is your space to envision and create your life as a mindful leader, as a conscious leader. You can breathe deep into this space and energy. You can say aloud or repeat the following affirmations. You can also choose to adjust the affirmations to fit your energy. In this quiet moment, I give myself permission. Permission to acknowledge my progress, to focus less on the distance I have left to travel, and I focus instead on the mighty distance I have come. I trust myself. I am aligned. I am love. I am centered. May I continue happily on my path, sharing these beautiful gifts with others. Inhale, infinite peace. Exhale, shining your heart forward. Know that you can always come back to this space and call in this quality. When you feel ready, you can start fluttering your eyes and coming back into the space. Maybe taking a little stretch on our necks, doing some shoulder rolls. Okay. How was that for you all? You guys can put it into the chat or go ahead and unmute yourselves. When I do this visualization practice, it allows for me to create more space and kind of slow everything down around me and kind of attune. I mean, this one was bringing in more of the quality we wanted. Elena, I see that you unmuted yourself.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna Um, it's funny, I was doing this and my mind was racing through all the things I have to do. So, but at the same time, even though it was racing, there was this quietness there and kind of centeredness. So I think the combination of the two is an interesting one because kind of put all these things that were racing in my mind in perspective, like how, so better perspective, I should say.
I love it. I like Jolie in the chat. She said she feels refreshed and recharged. It brings in Ria says feeling more relaxed and calm. I love that Jolie also imagined a forest with a tall palm tree in the center, right in front. So that's another beautiful way to bring in the visualization. The nature that's around us also brings in that grounding feature. And for me, the imagination of the tree quality is always like the roots going into the deep earth and having that, but it also stems up and reaches towards the sky, and also reaches towards the sky with all of the changes that are happening. Um, yeah. So I'm not sure if you were able to hear all of what I had said. Yeah. Okay. Um, so that was another visualization practice and connecting with nature and using the different elements that are shifting, especially right now at this time. We recently celebrated the autumn equinox, and we can see the seasons changing around us with the trees letting the leaves fall, the colors of the leaves changing. And it also happens with us as well, right? We begin new projects and we let other ones go, and just beginning to attune with the 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 potential of the space that these seasons create. So, Creativity Hub. So here, you all are welcome to unmute yourselves and kind of share out, kind of like thinking, how can we apply some of these visualizations to our personal life, maybe with our families, within our work and career communities, conscious leaderships, or maybe some ideas that you came in with and now feel um, that you can use visualizations to kind of reorient and focus on.
Hi again. So I was after doing that, it only takes what, 5 minutes, right? So just, giving myself permission to set 5 minutes out of our days, um, to just be present, breathe, maybe even download an app, a meditation app. Um, so thank you, Diana.
Yeah. There's a couple of apps I can share out as part of the resources that also have some samples of this too. And you go online to YouTube and there's a ton as well. So within my work and career, maybe I can give an example of like how I've used visualization is especially when you're planning for an event and things like that, you kind of like think about, I'd like to think about how I would like the students to feel from the information that we're sharing, um, to the students, how valuable it is that they should have access to the resources for them to be able to do research now online, or how to get into grad school. So it's kind of like setting the intention, what is your purpose before you begin, and kind of visualizing yourselves by connecting to your senses and putting that forward into action that way. Um, and right now the person that's coming to mind is just Oprah too, and how she's used visualization in her life and her career, and aside from her personal life, has extended it out to her communities and the world. So it's not just, you know we have all these different ecosystems within our lives, and we can apply it to each one differently.
I think it can also be useful to apply intentionality and creative visualization at work to like having maybe something that would be a difficult conversation, or if you're nervous about having a one-on-one with your manager, to really think about it and envision it ahead of time and set the intention. Like, I'm going to approach this conversation with gratitude, and I'm going to envision this this outcome or this experience for both of us. Or even in a job interview, to envision how you want to present yourself and what the outcome is. All of those things can be helpful in one's career.
Beautiful, Lisa. Exactly all of that. We need, it is difficult, especially when we're having those conversations, and thinking about it ahead of time makes it a little bit easier for us to bring in that relaxation and the courage to be able to move forward with compassion for ourselves and for the other person that we're speaking to, and creating that sort of space where we're not talking at the person, but more kind of like receptive. It's kind of the dance between you all becomes a little bit easier to navigate those conversations.
Yeah. Excellent. I love that. And even just to build upon that, like setting an intention to listen, and even setting an intention like, I can listen and I can just take it as information, but I don't have to take it as I don't have to take it on somebody else's interpretation. I can simply listen and be present without necessarily reacting.
Beautiful. So, when can we use creative visualization? So, you mentioned it's super easy, right, to get attuned and to come into our space to start visualization. Maybe at the most like 5 minutes it could take. So these are some times that I try to kind of like incorporate it into my day. And so the morning I shared, I get up and I bring in the intention that I need for the day, or that I'm calling in. And I know right now we're not commuting, but the commute also becomes part of that, right? Focusing on our breath and seeing things kind of like interweaving. Even when we are driving, things come in and out of our focus. And it's also with like the projects or plans that we have within our for ourselves, or maybe with the department that we're in. With walking, I try to find a place that I feel comfortable sitting next to, and kind of begin to visualize in that sense. What are the qualities from nature that I can bring more of to myself? Stand tall like a tree and be rooted and grounded. Maybe the birds that fly in and out, that kind of are, you know, feel this sense of like freedom and liberation as well. So kind of visualizing those qualities into your being as well. And then at nighttime, the visualization becomes super helpful when you're trying to bring in more peace, and slowing your mind down as you're getting ready for bed as well. So just creating that sort of space. Um, so let's take a minute, um, getting closer to the end here, and or two, to create an affirmation that's meaningful to you, that will kind of serve as a reminder for what you want to create and foster for your life as a mindful leader and as a conscious leader. Um, yeah.
Do you want us to write this down, Diana? Write an affirmation?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We have a couple of minutes to share. If anybody would like to share, I can go ahead and start off. So I usually have a sticky note that I put on my laptop, and the one that I use is Awaken to Love through Raw Truth, Radical Healing, and Conscious Action. So that comes from Sean Korn, who's a yoga activist as well. Would anyone else like to share their affirmations? They'll carry forward with them.
I wrote down, I am centered, clear, and focused in all my actions and words, leading me to make better choices.
Like the one that Lisa put into the chat. Trust yourself, then you will know how to live. By Goth. Beautiful. Okay, so I hope you'll be able to carry your affirmations forward and help as a reminder to bring you into balance and kind of what qualities that you would like to embody as a leader. So here's a list of resources. The Greater Good Science Center at Berkeley. There's a lot on the Chopra Foundation that I take a lot from. There's an article there. Jack Kornfield is also really great with just mindfulness meditations. And Thich Nhat Hanh has a lot of simple ones and really connected to nature. The meditation that we did brought in influence from Wendy Palmer, and she focuses a lot on conscious embodiment. And I love her work too. She uses Aikido as a way to kind of bring in those qualities into our everyday. And then there's a list of other books that I've read and kind of made an impact on my visualization practices and kind of more of like what it's like to be a leader. And thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. I'll hand it over to
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Diana, for helping us be intentional and more creative and sharing these practices and giving us the space to be here and present and remind us of the value of just taking time. Thank you all for being here and for being present and sharing, and we will be sending out an evaluation. We would love your feedback and would love to hear what else you would like us to offer to support you with your success here and your career and professional development. So thank you, everyone, and have a great afternoon.